What's the first thing that you picture when you hear the word leader? Is it some charismatic, all-knowing visionary who always has the perfect answer? Someone who commands a room with effortless authority? A person who was simply born for the job? For most of us, that's the image that we've been sold. Picture of a flawless, unflappable executive who's always in control. And that's the very image that causes countless talented, capable people, possibly people just like you, to look at themselves and say, well, that's not for me. But what if that picture is a total lie? What if the very things you think disqualify you are actually just myths? And the first myth is the one that paralyzes so many potential leaders before they even start. The first leadership myth is that leaders are born, not made. This is the oldest and most damaging myth, that it's the idea that leaders are pretty much born. There's something in their DNA and they possess innate qualities that some people just don't, and they should be the ones who are leading. So this myth comes from the great man theory, which arose in around the 19th century, and it proposed pretty much that great leaders are destined for their roles. You just haven't been born for that role. But that's pretty much all just BS. Modern research have actually proven that you can learn leadership. Leadership is a skill. So just think of any skill or craft. Nobody's born a carpenter or a mechanic. They learn those skills through practice, mentorship, and learning from failure. Leadership is the same thing. Neither of my parents, grandparents, were any leaders or managers. Pretty much all of my family were working class people. And I'm the first person to actually attend university and finish university. If leadership was innate, if a person needs to be born as a leader, then I would be the first person tell you that I should never have become a leader. I should never have become a manager because I wasn't born for it. So my advice for anyone that wants to become a leader, become one. Start from now. Don't ask yourself, am I a leader? But ask yourself, what skills can I build to become a better leader? Pick up a book, a course, get yourself a coach, or just put yourself in a situation where you're going to be leading and managing people. And remember, leadership isn't a title. It's an identity and calling that you build day by day. This next myth is my favorite, that you have to be an extrovert to be a leader. And hey, I'm an introvert and I'm still leading. I've been leading people and teams since I was 18. So for 19 years now, I've led people in 6 different industries and I've been successful in every single one of them. To me, this is funny and sad at the same time, pretty much, because our culture is so obsessed with extrovert ideal. Someone that's talkative, gregarious, energized by the spotlight. And this bias means that introverts often feel unseen, unsuited for leadership. And it's also the reason why introverts are often just jumped across or jumped over when managers and leaders in companies are actually looking for who to promote. They usually don't think of an introvert as being leadership material because they just don't understand what an actual good or great leader and manager actually is. And this myth also confuses a personality type, extrovert versus introvert, with actual effectiveness. So the funny thing about this myth is that we as introverts, we actually make better leaders with better leadership potential. So one specific example is that extroverts gain energy when they're talking to other people. They just love to talk and be the center of attention. While we as introverts gain energy from deep listening, reflection, and alone time. So this instantly makes us better listeners, which actually helps our team and team members feel heard and valued. What most of the time extroverts are going to do is they're going to just yap. And they may not even hear what the other person is trying to tell them, or they're just going to be so aggressive with talking and trying to make a specific point that they're not going to be even bothering to listen and hear what their team is trying to tell them. And that's going to cause their team to just distance themselves. So there was actually a study from Adam Grant and his colleagues that actually revealed that introverted leaders actually achieve better results with proactive teams. And the reason behind this is because they're less likely to be threatened by new ideas and more willing to implement them. While the extroverted leader might steamroll a conversation, an introverted leader creates space for others to shine. In all honesty, it doesn't really matter if you're an extrovert, omnivert, or introvert. Every single one of us possesses our unique strengths and capabilities and skills that we can develop them to become good or even great leaders. None of us can change our personalities, specifically whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. That's pretty much impossible. And you're going to burn yourself out if you even try to do that, or you try and mimic others who you think are achieving success just because they're possibly extroverted. Most of the time here, it's introverts trying to portray themselves as extroverts because that's what society, or at least Western society, usually wants and expects, especially from leaders and managers. So as an introvert, use your listening skills. Create environment for deep work. It's okay for you to be alone, to just want to take yourself away from everything and just have an hour, 2 hours of deep focus time. And remember this, authentic leadership is leading a way that's true to you, who you are. And if we haven't met yet, hey, I'm Blaj. I've been leading teams and people since I was 18, and currently I help young and prospective managers and leaders maximize their leadership and career potential. So myth number 3 is that leaders have and need a title. Quite a few people actually think that I'm not a leader because I'm not a manager. Pretty much this myth just wrongly chains what leadership and management is, that it's tied to an organizational chart. It's tied to our profession. This completely misunderstands what leadership is. It's not a title that gives you authority. It's actually who you are, your actions. Who's the person that you turn to actually solve your problems? Who's the person that's going to be listening to you when you have any issues? So those people are actually the true leaders within the company, within your community, within your area, because people turn to them when they need them. And that is what true leadership is. So those leaders lead by their actions, not their job title. Now, the ideal thing that will happen is that the people that are in management positions would actually be true leaders. But a lot of times that just doesn't happen because people that are not supposed to be managers are actually promoted. How can you break through this myth and actually start becoming a leader and start being a leader? Help others. Be the person who everybody else can rely on, can turn to when they need help, when they need some guidance, some mentorship, and build trust with them. When you build trust with them, you're going to see more and more people coalesce around you. Remember this, leadership isn't given, it's earned. And when you consistently show up and help others, formal titles will usually follow. So this next myth is the source of a huge amount of anxiety and imposter syndrome. It is that managers need to have all of the answers. In today's complex world, it's impossible to know everything. The reality is that we as leaders and managers don't need to have all of the answers. We're not the experts who need to have everything in our heads. That's why we have our team. The best leaders pretty much are the ones who ask the right questions and bring people together to actually find the answer. When I'm leading a team, if I don't know something, I'm going to be asking others around me to help me to get to the best answer and to actually make sure that the person that asked the question is going to get that question answered in a timely and the most effective and best way possible. If you ever have a manager that tells you, I know everything, just ask me and I'm going to be answering this to you, or I know everything, just do exactly as I tell you, just nod and just run away from that person's team as fast as possible because they're a fake manager. They don't know what they're talking about. As a leader, I'm always confident to say, I don't know. Let's figure it out. Or I don't know, but I'm going to find this out for you. Another sub-myth that actually originates from this myth is that it just makes you look weak as a leader and manager if you don't know things. You need to know everything because you're the top boss. You're not supposed to know everything. You have a team underneath you that are going to be subject matter experts on a specific topic, on a specific field, for specific tasks or projects. You're there to coordinate and make sure that the team is as happy as possible, that they have a safe space, that they can trust each other, and that they have all of the resources possible to succeed in their work. When they're going to succeed, you're going to succeed. So the only thing you can do with this myth is that you have to get comfortable with just saying, I don't know. And you have to get comfortable with not knowing a lot. Because as leader and manager, you're not going to be knowing a lot of things at all. You're going to be finding the answers. You're going to be collaborating with your team, with other people to find the answers. And you're going to be bringing people together to actually figure out the answers as well. Your role is not to be the smartest person in the room. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Your role as a leader and manager is to build the smartest team. And every single person in that team should be smarter than you. If you have 15 minutes to spare, I'd love to meet you So if you want to, go to the description below and check out my calendar and let's book a meeting. Or if you don't want to do that, you can just subscribe. The last myth that I'm going to be talking about today is that leadership is all about controlling people. And this leadership myth actually stems from the beginning of the 20th century when industrialization, automation, and manufacturers were on the rise. This approach, hopefully, is completely outdated. It is quite frankly stupid, and it doesn't comply with current leadership in the complex world that we're having today. True leadership is not about controlling people. It's delegating them tasks that they need to do. It's empowering them. It's giving them the widest latitude possible to complete their tasks. And as leaders, we need to support them with all of the resources that we can give them and all of the resources that the team needs, and be helping them with coaching, mentoring, and guidance when they come up to some obstacles or some issues that they cannot solve themselves. The best leaders don't create followers, they actually create other leaders. Because what effective leadership does, it creates autonomy and ownership. And that will lead to higher engagement, more innovation, and better results for each individual and for you or myself as a leader. And when that happens is that the overall team just becomes a team of superstars. The KPIs are going to be green. Performance is going to be amazing. All of the projects and tasks are going to be done and completed in time. And the whole organization is going to be looking at me or you as a leader and your team when they need help or when new promotions, new positions open. If you can succeed in this, then you're golden. Leaders are born, not made. You have to be an extrovert. You need a formal title. You have to know all of the answers. And your job is to control everyone. These are 5 of the most common and destructive myths about leadership. And each one of these myths is a barrier that some people want others to think that they're just born with it, that they have that innate ability to be a leader, and that is just their destiny to be promoted to the highest possible positions. The real truth is, leadership is a choice. It's a set of skills that you can learn. It's about using your unique personality, not just faking a new one. It's about influencing and inspiring others to be the best versions of themselves, to be the best people that they can be. If you ever hear your inner voice, that inner demon that keeps telling you you're not leadership material, don't listen to it. Remember these 5 myths. The world doesn't need another flawless, charismatic superhero. It needs you, your unique perspective, your quiet and unique strengths, and your willingness to learn and grow. That is what leadership is, and that is what the future of leadership is.